Hello, everyone. Welcome back to CIES Talks. If you're joining us for the first time, well, it is great to have you. Welcome. And for the next hour, and as we normally do on the podcast, you'll be hearing from a leader making an impact in their field in the sports industry. They will reflect on their journey, their experiences, and their opinions, even on this huge industry that many of us professionals work in. These conversations are brought to you by CIES, the International Center for Sports Studies. They are an independent study center located in Neuchâtel, Switzerland. CIES provides top research and top level education to the world of sports. They are also the parent body of Europe's leading sports management program, the FIFA Master Program, which I am a proud alumni of. Debola Adebanjo is my name, and I cannot wait for you to meet my guest today, Margarita Echeverría, a trailblazer for many women working in sports like myself. Margarita is an attorney in law in San Jose, Costa Rica, and some of the roles she has held in the career that has spanned over 30 years include being a legal director, the Secretary General, and national team director for the Costa Rica Football Federation, a role she left in 2020. During that period, she was also a FIFA consultant on legal, governance, and management issues as it concerns the CONCACAF region, a role she held between 2008 and 2015. She has been a CAS arbitrator since 2003. She holds several positions in different committees in CONCACAF, and she is currently the General Secretary of the Normalization Committee of the El Salvador Football Federation. And that is just me naming a few from the incredible works she has under her belt. And it's about time to hear from the woman herself. Welcome, Margarita. How are
Hi,
you?
hi, how are you? Nice to be here with you and with all the audience. Really honored to have this interview with you.
It is great to have you. I hope I managed to do justice to your incredible career. That is one long career you've had in sports. I mean, I think you were at the top level at the Costa Rica Federation in 1992. Fun fact is, I was just about a year old then. And honestly, what has kept you going? That's as long as I've been born. What has kept you going in the sports industry? Why are you still in this field that is not the easiest career for anyone to be in? Talk less of a woman.
Well, let's tell you something. Since I was a child, I love football. I play football with my brothers, and at school as well. But it was like a sport, and that's it. But when I finished my career as a lawyer, a friend called me and asked me if I could be 1 month in the Costa Rica Federation because she has something and they need a lawyer there for a month. And I said, okay, it's nice. I like football and it's nice. At the end of the month, she told me that she was never to come back to the federation, so the general secretary at that moment was very surprised and said, "What are we going to do? Because we need a lawyer here. FIFA is sending many rules and many circulars about many legal things, and we don't know anything." So he asked me, "You know about that?" And I say, "Yes, of course." I didn't know anything because you know um, sports law didn't exist for that moment. But I said, okay. And okay. And, at the beginning was 1 month, and at the end was almost 30 years staying there in different positions in the federation. And, well, was great. Wasn't a great adventure that I had. And still I had.
Yes, yes, totally. Because your career hasn't ended. And in case I gave anyone that impression, that is absolutely not it. She is still in the game, doing amazing things. But if I heard you correctly, it feels as though you were prepared for an opportunity that showed up. And even though it sounds like it, I don't think you stumbled on the opportunity. I think you were prepared for an opportunity that you later went on to do for 30 years. But was there a point where you thought like, okay, I can do this for the long game? You know, you said you joined the Costa Rican Federation after your friend told you about, the work there. But at what point when you started working for, the federation, you realized, okay, I want to do this for a really long time. I see my future in this.
Well, I think I never think about in that way.
Mm,
because, as I told you, sports law was not very common or was not common in the world. And imagine in Costa Rica, this is my little country, a nice and beautiful country, but very small, and it was not very common. But when I started, and for me was great, because I was constructing and building something that never happened or we don't have in Costa Rica. So I felt very, I don't know, courage to do that.
mm,
And I didn't know that I was doing something important for women, and
mm.
I was doing something different and interesting. I just did a lot of things.
You just showed up as yourself. You worked hard.
Yes.
You said something about reading all the statutes. That sounds like, I mean, it takes a very curious, energetic, and someone with independence and agency to want to find out how to run a field that did not exist before. Would you say that that was some of the things that helped you as you got into the federation and helped you in your career overall?
Well, I think that one of my important things that I had in that moment and was to study.
Mm,
And I remember that I read every document, every circular rules, whatever that FIFA sent to the federations. Because remember, in that time, 1992, we didn't have cellulars, or we didn't have the technology that we have right now.
yeah.
So we received faxes. We received faxes, rules, a lot of papers, and FIFA has some blue books. I remember the blue books. In fact, I have some still now. And I read everything and I mark everything. And sometimes I have doubts, but who to ask? Because
Mm,
FIFA was so far from us. But in certain moment, I think that FIFA knew that, and they come to the federations and come to the region, especially to come to America. And I have the opportunity to meet a lot of people, not only from FIFA, CONCACAF, the other federations.
mm,
And I understand something, the networking. The networking is very important because
mm.
after that seminars and the conferences and everything, I have a list of people that I can call, and that was very important and helped me in my work. So
Mm,
this is a very key tool.
yeah,
And the other one is staying up to date.
yeah,
Read everything, and you have to know what is happening around you and what is happening in your industry. I don't know. In my case, is football, but for the others, can be, I don't know, cars, or no, I don't know, another.
yeah. Whatever industry you're in.
Yes,
You,
yeah.
you know what I'm thinking, Margarita. In that era you were describing, we didn't have social media, so networking must have been two times harder to do. I don't know if that makes sense. So it means it's like a full-time job for you to be doing your work at the federation and making sure that you're, staying in touch with the right people and making sure that you're networking properly. And I'm just commending the effort it must take, because now for my generation it's very easy to just go to a conference, follow back them on Instagram, follow them on LinkedIn, and just stay in touch. But when we didn't have all of that back then, you needed to write faxes, you needed to send letters, and it's just a commendation to the work that you did. But let's help the audience realize that when you joined the federation in 1992, you did not start as a secretary general. You started as, a national team coordinator. You started as a legal administrator, but you worked your way up to being the secretary general of the Costa Rican Federation, and you were the first woman to get in that position. I can imagine that even if we did some research, probably you're probably the first woman in any federation to take on that role. how did that feel? Can you remember what it was like, being in that role? And more importantly, how did you navigate a space that is traditionally a
Mhm.
male dominated position?
I was really very excited because was the first time that in the Costa Rica Federation there was a woman as a GS. I remember that I was on TV and I was in programs on TV and the radio, and a lot of people would like to make interviews about what I was going to do and what I
Mm,
expect, because the federation was sometimes in a mess, it disorders, and a lot of things that happen in a federation. And to be on TV was, oh my god. And but it was at the same time, I I took that with a lot of responsibility.
mm,
As I said, oh my God, I think that other women can do the same.
okay.
And around me, I have some professionals, but not maybe in this area. But I
Mm,
said communication, for example, or
mm,
marketing, or lawyers as well. And
yeah,
they do what I did, because it's only to study, it's only to focus and emphasis, and what are you doing, but especially to have passion about what you do.
yeah,
And
that's very important. I
yeah.
remember as a young girl, even when I didn't know that I wanted to work in sports, there was a woman I used to watch on TV who was a sports presenter. And like I said, I wasn't sure I wanted to do sports, but she stayed on my mind. She was the representation I needed, that women can be in the sports industry, women can have a job in sports. So it's just taking me back to the fact that you said you were on TV, and it shows how big of a deal that was. And maybe you don't even know it, but I'm sure there was a girl who must have seen you, watched the news, heard the fact that there is a woman, for the first time in that position, and felt inspired. So I'm definitely not going to rule that out in case you didn't know. But can you remember any standout initiatives that you were particularly proud of in your time in the Costa Rican Federation?
I remember there was something happened with Exco, and there was a change. And the new president was a man with a big view about what football has to go in Costa Rica.
Mm,
And he asked me. I was a lawyer. I was advisor of the Exco only, and he asked me, do you take the position? And I said,
mm,
the GS, oh my God. And was like, I didn't think. And I said, okay, let's go ahead.
yeah.
And when I have two kids for that
Mhm,
one, for that moment, two kids, and I told them, and they were so excited because mom is going to be a very important person in the federation, in the football federation. And in Costa Rica, this is the most popular sport.
yeah.
So I felt very support with them. So I was divorced for that moment, so I have a lot of time as well. My time was my kids and my work. So we started. And the first thing that I need to do in that moment is to make a team.
Mm,
And because for me, to work as a team is very important, and to know the people that you have, and to give the people, and or to allow the people to participate and feel that it's part of the organization is very important,
mm,
and can give you a very good work.
mm,
So I did it. I did it for 3 years, and then after that, there was a change, and I returned to the as a legal advisor and director of national teams at the same time.
You were juggling multiple roles as a
Yes.
person. I think that is the curse of being too good at what you do. That is the curse of knowing a lot, because you said at the beginning when you joined, you just immersed yourself into all the runnings of the federation, so you knew everything, and of course you had to do several things.
Mhm. And you know, I love my organization in that moment, and I still love my organization. For me, Costa Rica Federation is very special. Is in my heart, and it's gonna be in my heart all my life. And if they need me here, I can do it
You do
in
it.
the other positions, whatever they need, and I did it.
Yeah,
And you
that
know,
is.
as well, they gave me opportunities in FIFA or in CONCACAF in
Mhm.
seminars, and I could grow as well.
Yeah.
And they FIFA and CONCACAF, they said, there's Margarita in Costa Rica, and she knows, and she's a lawyer, so I have other opportunities.
Yeah, yeah. So it sounds to me like opportunities you deserved from working hard, from positioning yourself as someone who is dependable, as someone who is passionate about the work that is being done at the organization. And I think that's, if anyone is listening, those are some of the characteristics and the traits you need to take if you want to have a successful and long career. But there was something you said that I particularly found interesting. You said that in that position, that one of the things you did was making sure that everybody has a voice, listening to what the people that you work with have to contribute. um, do you feel like if the sports industry or leadership right now in the sports industry do a lot of that, we would have a more progressive and inclusive football industry
About women or in general?
in general, and even for women. That's why I mentioned the word inclusive.
Okay. Well, I think that right now, in it has grown the participation of women in football. I'm going to talk about football. Is the industry that I know.
Yeah.
And right now we have a lot of, for example, referees, women referees, and
Mm.
they are in matches of men, um,
Yeah.
important matches for men, and they are we have presidents in federations. In Turks and Caicos is it's a woman as
Yeah.
well. In the U.S. Federation
Yeah.
is a woman, and we have GS in different parts of the Caribbean. And I think that women has improved a lot, and men is giving the space because we have a different sense, to deal with the
Yeah.
problems, and to hear the people, and to make teams. I think this is easier for women more than men.
Yeah.
So if we have a good team, we are going to have a good work in the office.
Yeah.
So I think it's very nice right now, and women can do it, and I can find, there's a thing. When I was in TAS, I remember, bueno, still I am in
Yeah.
2008 in the Olympics game. I remember that the ad hoc arbitrators were 12, 11 men, and Margarita. Only me. And in 2016, in the Olympic Games of Rio, was different. Was
Mm.
6 men and 6 women. I took part of
Mm.
that ad hoc arbitrators. And right now there are many arbitrators women in TAS. This is very nice because I remember when I started that all my panels and all were men. Only me,
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
as a president or part of the tribunal.
Yeah.
But right now, I had one tribunal that was, or a panel, the three were women. So
Yeah.
was very nice. I think that we are improving.
Yeah, improving is the word. I mean, there is still a long way to go, if you ask me. Which is why I also want to touch on some of the challenges that you faced and you're probably still facing as a woman working in leadership. I'm sure that if we decide to share both of our points, they might be similar, or a lot of women watching this as well will be able to relate with that. But I know you worked hard. I know you couldn't be pushed aside because of your work ethic. But I'm sure that maybe you would have liked some things to come easier to you, owing to some challenges. Can you reflect on any challenges you feel women are still facing, or you faced during your time in leadership?
Let me tell you this story that is part of the answer at your question. My first case in TAS, it was a very important case. It was the first case in football because remember that TAS was since 1984, but FIFA took the jurisdiction until 2002, I think so. Yes, because I started in 2003. And the first case that TAS deal in football, I was part of that panel. And one of the arbitrator was a Spanish guy and the other Swiss, and very important lawyers in Europe. And the third one was me,
Mm.
you know, a woman from Costa Rica, from the other
Central
side of the
America, yeah.
sea. And they told me after, of course, right now we are very close friends, but they told me that they said between them and this lady, she knows something about football or about this industry, or they had doubts about me.
Mm. Yeah.
My mother tongue language is not English, is Spanish, and all the hearing was in English. But, in that hearing, my English was the most perfect English that I have my whole life. And I made all the questions and I knew the file perfect, every paper, everything. And when we started the questions and the other arbitrators were going to make questions all the time, they said, Margarita asked everything already. Margarita asked everything already.
Mm.
And at the end, they said, she knows about this. It was, remember, it was a disciplinary or something with the contract. But
Mm.
she knows about football and she knows about the contract and the file and very
Mm.
perfect to the questions. And you have to be prepared all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I understood that since that first case, because task for me was too big to be in Europe. My God, I'm from America and a very small country, and in a hearing where nobody speaks in Spanish, everything was in English,
Yeah.
and the lawyers of the parties were very important in the industry, so
Yeah. Yeah.
was so bad.
You didn't let the stage frighten you. You didn't let the stage overwhelm you, is what I'm hearing. And I'm also taking some notes, Margarita. You're dropping gems across this interview we're having. At the beginning you said, to have a successful career you need to know how to network. You need to be able to do more than you've been told to do in your workplace. Now you're saying you need to always be prepared. And I think those are things that people can, remember to do, to give them an edge in their career. We have been talking a lot about CAS and your role as an arbitrator, your current role, because you still have, that's something you still do. That's an important position, as far as I'm concerned, because you're dealing with, you know important issues and delicate issues across the world of football, as it concerns, people, players, contracts, governance, clubs. So this is really important stuff. Of course, is there a particular project or a particular cause in football that is now close to your heart, based off of this, exposure to all these cases that you're working on?
Well, I'm a lawyer, but because of the different positions that have the opportunity to take in my life in football, the administration of the federations is very important. The governance in federations is very important. And right now, my project is in the Federation of El Salvador, because they have right now normalization committee.
Mm,
So, when I arrived 2 years and a half ago, I was living there for 2 years, and right now I am traveling all the time to there, and to help them how to manage in a very modern way, and to teach, because it's like that. It's to
mm,
teach about many things, about
yeah,
internal controls, about finances, about the rules, about a lot of things. Right now,
yeah,
this is my project, and I would like to work in those things for the federations, because I can combine
yeah,
all my experiences.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
No, I totally agree.
No.
Yeah. No, and that is very important because I mean that's people need a lot of federations need best practice from
Mhm.
from other areas that are doing things right. And if there is someone who has spent a whole life like you running federations, I think that is a great knowledge to have and a great addition to your region, to the CONCACAF region. Um, did you want to say
Yeah,
something?
about yes, about good practices. I had the opportunity as well to work in federations of South America, and are from America, but they have a different view, and I learned many things about what they do, and can take some of that knowledge to Central America or sometimes in the Caribbean. So it's
Mm,
very nice to share what are the people doing
yeah,
around the world in football. And I think that everybody has something to to teach
to
to the
contribute.
others, and you have to, catch from everybody, and then let's put in the table and show
And
that
make
to the
something
others.
good. Yes, make something stronger based off
Mhm.
of this knowledge you have gathered. I did a little bit of research on you, as I should do, and one of the things I heard from a little bird is that you have a daughter. You also mentioned your kids as well. You have a daughter who works in sports. In fact, she was an alumni. She is an alumni of the master's program that I did, the FIFA master, and that sounds very exciting. How did you directly inspire her to work in sports as well? Did she, by any chance, watch you on TV on that day and like, oh, that's my mom. I want to be like my mom too. How did that, you know, how did that come about?
Well, since she was a child, very child, she was very close to me because she likes football as well. And I remember when I have to work in the weekends, she all the time was, Mommy, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. And she was with me. And, sometimes with the work that we made with the players or clubs or wherever, and she was sitting there, and she was there. And she was looking old, and she hear, I remember that she was sitting in a chair and hearing my telephone calls, about what I saying with the people, because there's a problem in the federation or whatever. So at the beginning, she started that she was going to study medicine, but then she makes, I don't know, and she said, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be like you. And I think that all the child said, I want to be like my mom or my dad.
Yeah,
And she was, and I told her, honey, this is very complicated, because
mm,
it's not easy, this world, because it's in a man world,
yeah,
and it's a woman saying, hey, it's in that way, it's not in that way. And I said, it's quite difficult.
yeah.
But she said, I would like to do it. And well, she started law in Costa Rica, and she was super nice. She made the final project was about TAS, And all the professors in the university, they didn't know what was TAS.
Yeah.
So I helped her with with the project.
She must
And
have gotten an A, I guess.
yes. And then I was right now I am the coordinator between CS and Costa Rica University since 2008. The program that we have is wow, it's spectacular here in Costa Rica. So of course she heard about that, and sometimes she was with me. In Because at the beginning I was the teacher of law in that course. Then was many things for me to do, so I quit and only coordinate that course. And she said, "Mommy, I would like to make the FIFA master. Okay, you have to do everything as every student, every candidate
Well,
that
yeah.
want to do it." And she did. um, I think that I don't remember when she started to make the things. When she said, "I have the interview," I say, "You have the interview already?" Oh my God! We were
Yeah.
praying, and she was very good in the interview, and she was in the FIFA Master. And right now, she graduated in 2020. She's the
Oh,
pandemic generation.
oh, yeah. I'm sure if given the opportunity, she would want to do it again because I mean the great thing about the FIFA Master is that the students get to move across three different countries, and that bond you build together, moving across the UK, Italy, and Switzerland is something you don't forget. So yeah, I'm sorry she didn't have that
It's a great
experience, but
experience.
it is, it
For
is.
you, it's a great experience. And I said, "Oh my God, I would like to have that in my life." But
Yeah,
now, right now, there's so good. It's a very good tool, and for
it is.
networking.
It is. It is. And even though she doesn't have that experience, she has the solid alumni network that the FIFA Master, boasts of. So at least she's a part of us in that sense. And it sounds like both of you have a lot of things to bond about. Isn't that the ultimate, mother daughter type of relationship? Everyone wishes they had that, don't they?
Yes, and sometimes my son is a little jealous because I can talk with her hours because we have the same matters to talk,
Yeah.
law things and FIFA things and whatever. But the good thing is that my son, he plays football, not professional, but he's very update about what happens in the different leagues in Europe and everything. So he wants football as well. So we made a good group.
Yeah, yeah, we can slot him in somewhere and help
Yes.
him get professional as well, so he doesn't feel too left out. I have another sneaky point that I got when I was doing my research, about you, and it was in one of the interviews where you said that you really enjoy your Zumba classes as a way of keeping fit, getting your aerobics in. So I mean, before we talk about that, I have a couple of rapid fire questions for you. They're just a this or that question, and you don't have to think before you answer that. Um, do you prefer salsa or reggaeton? I mean, you said you like
Salsa.
it Zumba, right? Salsa. Okay. Coffee or cafecito?
Coffee.
Okay. Okay. Let's keep it in that region. Arepa or gallo pinto?
Gallo pinto.
Okay. I don't even know what that is, to be honest. I
You
did
know,
a little bit of research. I'm not sure what the components is like.
gallo pinto. Gallo pinto
Yeah.
is rice and beans. It's a
Ah,
mix of it's a mix with rice and beans.
that sounds like it's right up my alley. Yeah,
And,
that's a favorite Nigerian food.
yeah,
Um, Sunrise or sunsets?
sunset,
Okay. Early morning meetings or late night strategy sessions?
early morning meetings.
Okay.
I wake up.
Emails.
I wake up very early in the morning all the time.
Ah, that's great. Emails or phone calls?
Mm, phone calls quickly.
You had to think about that a lot. You seem like a very you seem like a big conversationalist. So yeah, I can see why you say phone calls. Are you someone who likes a strategy or you like to be spontaneous?
Strategy.
That's not hard to imagine. Do you prefer traveling for work or working from home?
Working from home.
Okay. Books or podcasts?
Books.
Okay. Would you prefer that Costa Rica win the FIFA World Cup or your favorite club win the UEFA Champions League or something?
Costa Rica.
I think that was a very easy one, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, well that's a good thing for people to get to know you, just in case anyone wants to have like the full picture of who Margarita is. But I am mindful that we are getting to the end of this interview, but there is of course still a lot to discuss about your amazing career and how inspirational you are to a lot of young women. It's great that we also spoke about your daughter. I mean, you might want to inspire the world, but I think it's even great when you inspire someone really close to you like that. And on that note, I'm just going to ask if there is a young woman watching this, today, and I'm sure there are going to be many young women watching this. What is the first step you will tell that young woman to take if they're hoping to have a great career in sports like you?
Um, if I have somebody, a very young woman, I would like to tell her, follow your dreams. Nobody can stop you, because if I could do it, if I have less than the new generations have right now. The new generations, they have technology. For example, I didn't have technology. My technology was faxes and an email. Wow, but faxes. And right now they have a lot of technology that can help you. And if you want to learn something about whatever you want to learn, you can find it there. It's
Yeah,
so easy. And the
yeah,
networking and to chat with the people in different parts of the world, you can do it. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid if you want to raise your hand and say something in a group, for example, something that you think is important. And
mm,
it's important what you have to say and what you need to say, because I'm pretty sure that it's because you are going to help in the group and you are going to be support in the group. So do it. Don't be
do it.
afraid. Do
Don't
it.
be
Don't be
afraid. Do
afraid.
it. Yeah,
Yes.
that is a great line for anyone to remember. Do it, don't be afraid. It's something that you can always tell yourself in your head every time. Do it, don't be afraid. Well, thank you very much for all of your wisdom, Margarita. It's been amazing chatting with you, hearing about your inspiring journey. I hope I'm definitely inspired, and I hope that a lot of people watching this are as well. And hopefully we have you another time,
Yes.
on the podcast to talk about some of the projects you're working on, maybe even one with the El Salvador Federation when everything has been settled. Yeah, we will definitely love to have you back because, yeah, you've shared so much insights to all of us here. Thank you very much. You
I
have been
love
watching.
it. I love it to
Thank
be
you.
with you and in this interview. And if I can help, just nice. Whatever you want, and do it.
I, I will let you know. Next
Yeah.
time the first time I'm coming to Costa Rica, I will definitely, say
Yes,
hello
of
to you,
course, of
and be
course.
like, yeah,
And you
that
can
would be
eat
great.
gallo pinto.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, I didn't even think about that, but I'm looking forward to that. So thank you very much again.
Okay,
Well,
bye.
you have been watching CIES Talks, brought to you by CIES International Center for Sports Studies. Thank you very much for watching. Debola Adebanjo is my name, and I will see you next time.